Hi, and welcome to part 5 of Master Your Thinking. In this part, we'll learn why big goals take time and effort. We'll also see how to think long-term, value our time, and stay focused on what truly matters. If you want to reach your goals and feel proud of your progress, this video is for you. Don't forget to subscribe for upcoming parts and more valuable videos. Let's get started. How to create an effective process. Now that you have made your understanding of the world better, you need to create a process that helps you reach your goals. A good process is something that, if you follow it regularly, often every day, will help you reach your goals or at least give you the best chance of success. Here is a good question to ask yourself to see if your process is working. If I keep doing what I'm doing today or this week, will I reach my goal? If your answer is no, or I'm not sure, then you may need to make your process better. To build a good process, you need to find the important tasks that will take you from where you are now to where you want to be in the future. Sometimes these tasks are simple. For me, it's writing. Sometimes they are not. In his book, High Performance Habits, Brendon Burchard talks about the big 5 moves. His main idea is that there are usually 5 big tasks or projects that, when done well, help people reach their goal. When he wanted to become a New York Times best-selling author, Burchard talked to several best-selling authors to learn what they did. Then he decided to focus on these 5 things. 1. Finish writing a good book. 2. Self-publish or find an agent if you want a big publishing deal. 3. Start blogging and posting on social media to build an email list. 4. Make a book promotion page and offer great rewards to make people want to buy the book. And 5. Find 5 to 10 people with large email lists to promote the book. By focusing on these 5 big tasks, he made his book, The Millionaire Messenger, a New York Times bestseller. Remember, a good process is not always an easy one. Some of your key tasks may be simple, but others may be hard. For example, writing a good book is not easy. Finding 5 to 10 people to promote your book is also very hard, especially when you're just starting out. But knowing what to focus on helps you use your time and energy on what really matters. In short, for any goal, there are usually a few key tasks that bring real results. Your job is to find those tasks and build a good process around them. Action step. Use your action guide to write down all the things you could do to reach your goal. Don't stop yourself or limit your ideas. Write down everything that comes to mind. Try to write at least 10 to 20 actions. A. Narrowing your options. Now you should have a long list of actions you could take to reach your goal. The next step is to remove the unimportant tasks so only the most useful ones are left. To do this, you need to have a clear plan. A good plan helps you choose the best actions and, more importantly, shows you what to avoid doing. The importance of having a clear strategy. Many people fall into the trap of trying short-term tricks or jumping from one great idea to another without reaching anything important. For example, they try one popular diet, then switch to another. They stop one training course to start a new, more exciting one. Or they leave a hard project to begin something else. This kind of behavior is called shiny object syndrome. Usually, the less clear your plan is, the more likely you are to get distracted by new ideas or trends. To avoid this, you must spend time making a clear plan that you truly believe will help you reach your goals. The more you trust your plan, the easier it will be to say no to other ideas, no matter how good they may look. A. Strategy versus tactic. Many people don't understand the difference between a strategy and a tactic, which is a big problem. Let's look at what each one means. Strategy. A strategy is a clear plan to reach a long-term goal. It is made up of actions that work together and are meant to help you reach your goal. The important words here are work together. You're not just trying random things. Every step is part of a clear plan, and you can explain why each action is part of that plan. Tactic. A tactic is one action that is part of a bigger plan. It is just one piece of the strategy. The problem comes when people use tactics as if they are separate things you can just mix and match. But in truth, a tactic by itself is usually not useful. It only works when used with other tactics as part of a full working strategy. For example, one of my big goals is to become the #1 self-help indie author on Amazon US. My current strategy is Release a book every 2 months in the self-help category and advertise them a lot using Amazon ads, hoping that over time, the Amazon algorithm will help me sell more books. If I suddenly started doing seminars or making videos to sell more books, my actions would not match my strategy. To follow my strategy, I must keep writing and publishing books and work on my ads. You may wonder how I know this strategy will work. Well, I don't know for sure, but I have some good ideas based on what I've learned over the years. Let me share some of these ideas to show why having good beliefs is important before making a long-term plan. Belief number 1. The Amazon algorithm will help sell my books. Why I believe this. I've read books by experienced indie authors who understand how the Amazon system works. I've seen some indie authors whose books sell well for years. They don't seem to do much promotion outside Amazon, which shows Amazon is doing most of the work for them. If it works for them, why not for me? I now have a few books that sell steadily each month, which also supports this idea. Belief number 2. The more books, the better. Why I believe this. Most successful indie writers, both fiction and nonfiction, say the best way to market a book is to publish another one. Many of them have written lots of books. I think this is important because there's some luck in book success. So the more books I write, the more chances I have to create a hit. Also, the more books I write, the better I become, and that means more readers may like and recommend my books. For example, I only started making good sales after my 7th book. My 9th book, Master Your Emotions, became very popular and was picked up by foreign publishers. Of course, writing more books is not always the best choice. It depends on your plan. Some people use their book to sell other products or services and make a lot of money that way. That's fine too. It's just a different plan. Belief number 3. I have what it takes. Why I believe this. I've gotten enough good feedback and made enough sales to believe my goal is possible. I've written good books in 2 months before, so I know I can do it again. I've built the right mindset and believe I have the discipline and creativity to succeed. For example, I worked on my business 20 to 30 hours a week for over a year while also doing a full-time job. These beliefs make me think my goal is realistic, though not easy, and my strategy is good. What about you? Do you have a clear strategy with well-matched tactics, or are you just using tricks and short-term ideas? And how do you know your plan will work? What beliefs do you have, and how do you know they are correct? Your strategy tells you what not to do. Having a clear strategy also helps you know what you shouldn't do. For example, if I tried every possible way to sell more books, it would mean I don't have a clear plan. But once I choose a strategy, I avoid anything that doesn't fit with it. Here are things I decided not to do, unless in rare cases. Use social media, like Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, etc. to promote my books. Go on podcasts, make YouTube videos, organize seminars, run webinars, write blog posts, try to get published by traditional publishers, try to get my books into libraries. To make my strategy work, I still need to use a mix of tactics, but these tactics must match my overall plan. There's nothing wrong with being on podcasts, writing blog posts, or tweeting every day. But none of these fit my strategy of writing and releasing books regularly, so I decided not to do them. The main point is, to get real results, you must stick with a few key actions for a long time. Just like you can't cut a tree by swinging an axe at random spots, you can't make big progress by doing unrelated tasks one after another. But many people do just that. They do too many things, get tired, and don't make real progress. If you don't have a clear strategy, this may happen to you too. As an example, I was recently listening to a webinar by a smart book marketer. I felt overwhelmed just hearing the number of things I was supposed to do to succeed. She said I should make and update a blog, write guest posts, build an email list, go to events, make book trailers for YouTube, run webinars, do Facebook Lives, connect with influencers, run ads Amazon, Facebook, BookBub, etc. Be active on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, etc. Get more book reviews, get into bookstores and libraries, and send press releases. If you were a new writer, wouldn't you feel overwhelmed? Then she offered to help, for a fee of course. No wonder people feel like they need help. Who could do all that alone? But here's the funny thing. I'm a full-time writer and I do almost none of that. In fact, I rarely post on social media, almost never blog, seldom go on podcasts, don't do Facebook Lives or videos, don't send press releases, don't try to get into libraries, don't run events, don't do webinars or seminars. I just write more books, run ads, grow my email list, and sometimes connect with other writers. And I know other successful indie writers who do the same. That doesn't mean other actions won't work. It just means they need to be part of a long-term plan. What about you? What strategy do you think would work best for you? What things should you not do? B. Putting in place an effective process. 1. Process goals versus outcome goals. It's easy to become too focused on results, but you don't have full control over what happens in the end. You can't be sure that you'll make a certain amount of money, sell a certain number of products, or lose a set amount of weight. But you can create a clear plan that helps you increase your chances of success. For example, I can't be sure that I will sell 100,000 books in 2020, outcome goal, but I can publish 6 books and 2 box sets, translate at least 3 books into Spanish, German, and French, and spend 10 hours a week improving my ads. All these goals are process goals. That means I have full control over them. I believe doing these things and more will help me reach my bigger goal of selling 100,000 books this year. Process goals help you feel less pressure and remove the stress that comes from only thinking about results. To reach any big goal, all you can really do is find the most helpful plan possible. Set process goals that support your big goals. Build daily habits that are connected to your goals. Stay consistent over a long time until you reach your goal, and improve your plan when needed based on the feedback you get. You won't always reach your goals, but if you build a good plan and follow a strong daily routine, you will definitely move forward. To sum up, start with a clear goal, like making $100,000, writing 6 books, losing 20 pounds, etc. Then build a plan to help you succeed. Then spend most of your time and energy on the plan. Don't let slow progress in the short term stop you. Stick to your plan, be consistent, and you'll give yourself the best chance to succeed. Some examples of process goals are writing for 45 minutes every morning, calling 5 potential clients every day, replacing sugary drinks with water during meals, or going to the gym 3 times a week. Once you've chosen the best plan for your goals, check how well you're following it, not by looking at short-term results, but by checking how well you stick with your plan. Make sure you track your progress based on the process you follow. If needed, improve your plan to make sure it works well. For example, maybe you need to write for more time each day, or maybe calling 5 people a day isn't enough to reach your goal. So you might decide to make more calls or change your long-term goal. Action step. Do the task below using your action guide. Look at the strategies you've already chosen and pick the one you think is best. Write down the plan you think you need to follow to make that strategy work. For example, what you need to do every day or regularly to have the best chance of success. C. Cultivating long-term thinking. People aren't naturally good at thinking about the long term. We are built to care more about the short term. That's why many of us find it hard to wait for rewards. Maybe you've seen yourself in some of these examples. You spend all your money, even though you know you should save some for the future. You keep eating unhealthy food, even though you know you should take better care of your body. You stay up all night watching Netflix, even though you know you should go to bed. To see things clearly, you must change how you think about time. You need to work on beating your natural habits and mental shortcuts. 2.1. Why thinking long-term is important. One of the laws I talk about in my book, Success is Inevitable, is the law of long-term thinking. I believe this is one of the most important laws for success. People who can wait for rewards and think long-term usually do better in life than people who can't. These people make better plans for their lives and smarter choices. For example, they may save more money, spend more on learning, or eat better food than they would have if they only thought short term. But as humans, we often don't want to wait and miss out on the benefits of patience. This brings us to the next point. 2. The value of patience. Many people don't really understand how long-term thinking works or why it's so powerful. We think we can do a lot in 1 year, but we don't realize how much we can do in 5 or 10 years. We focus on short-term problems and believe our biggest dreams are out of reach. We only see the hard parts in front of us, and that makes us feel down or even hopeless. Strangely, the younger we are, the more confused we are about time. Take teenagers, for example. They have many years ahead, but they still want everything now. They may feel upset with their parents for saying no or can't wait to become adults so they can drive and be free. This short-term view isn't just a teen problem, it affects everyone. Today, a 40-year-old still has many years left to live. That's a lot of time, but people often feel like it's already too late or that they don't have enough time left. Here's the good news. You don't need 20 years to change your life. You can make big changes in just a few years. So even if you are in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, you still have time. If you really want to change your life, think about where you could be in just 3 to 5 years or even 10 years. 3. The trap of unrealistic expectations. Many people expect too much too soon. This is very common when they start something new. It happened to me too. When I started a blog a few years ago, I thought it would become really popular. Every time I wrote an article, I thought, this is the one. People will love it. It's going to go viral. It never did. The truth is, when you start something new, you don't know what you don't know. You don't understand how hard it really is to be successful. This can make you quit early if you don't see the results you hoped for. You might even think there's something wrong with you. This wrong idea is made worse by so-called gurus who promise fast results with very little effort. No, there is nothing wrong with you. If you're having a hard time, that's normal. It's part of the journey. Luckily, there are many things you can do to get better results. But you still need to follow a clear plan and do the work. There's no shortcut. Not long ago, I saw a sales pitch that made me uncomfortable. It was one of those messages written by expert writers trying to sell the dream that you can make lots of money without much work. The main idea was that you could make $10,000 a month in passive income by writing short books. Just write one book over the weekend, and it could make you $10,000 every month for years. Yes, that's really what it said. Amazing, right? I wondered why I spent years writing books when all I needed was a few short books written over a weekend. This is a great example of a bad idea that won't help you succeed. If you believe you can make $10,000 a month by publishing a few short books, you'll feel like something is wrong with you when it doesn't happen. You will probably have high hopes when you begin, but the key is to keep thinking about the long term, keep improving how you see reality, and stick to your plan every day, even when you don't see quick results. 4. Why worthy goals take time and effort. Being patient is very important because big, important goals take a lot of time and hard work. In fact, this is how you know your goal is worth going after. You can't expect to build your dream job, strong relationships, or become rich without putting in effort, right? So if it feels hard and slow, that's okay. Most of the time, it's supposed to be that way. A big reason for my success as an independent author is that I learned to think long term. In my first book, Goal Setting, published in 2015, I said I wanted to become one of the most well-known personal development experts in the world. At that time, I had no connections, no followers, and had never written a book before. I wasn't even writing in my first language. But I was ready to work hard and spend as many years as needed to reach my goal. Now, as I write this book, I've sold almost 100,000 copies of my books and signed deals with publishers in Russia, Brazil, Vietnam, India, and Japan. I think that's a good beginning. But it didn't happen fast. It took 3 years before I started making money from my writing. Big life-changing goals often take 3 to 5 years to reach, and sometimes even more. So, if you really want to achieve something important, give yourself enough time to make it happen. Think long term. Life is a marathon, not a quick race. You have more time than you think. If you keep moving forward every day, step by step, you'll do more than you ever thought possible. The point is, don't let short-term thinking trick you into feeling like you don't have enough time. Do the work every day, and let the power of compounding help you. The more consistent you are, the more progress you'll make, and the better your results will be in the long run. Action step. Using your action guide, finish this sentence with as many answers as you can think of. If I was better at thinking long term, I would. 5. How to move from short term to long term thinking. Some people may naturally be better at thinking long term, but I believe anyone can learn this skill. In this section, we'll look at 6 things you can do to improve. They are creating a long-term vision, thinking about your long-term goals often, making time to focus on the big picture, learning to enjoy the process, letting go of the fear of missing out, reminding yourself to be patient. Creating a long-term vision. The first step to thinking about the future is to make a long-term vision. It's hard to think long-term if you don't have a clear goal. Without a vision, you may end up doing busy work that doesn't help you move forward. You need to make sure that what you do today helps you get closer to your big goal. Action step. Think of a big goal. Then use your action guide to answer these questions. What is the big vision behind this goal? How can you make the goal more specific? Why is this goal so important to you? What benefits, money, health, mental, or emotional, will you get from reaching it? B. Thinking about your long-term goals often. After you set a long-term goal, you need to look at it often. You can make a vision board and put it where you'll see it often. Write your goal on paper and keep it on your desk or where you'll see it daily. Read your long-term goal every day or week. The more often you think about your long-term goals, the better you'll get at long-term thinking. Making time to focus on the big picture. To keep your focus on the long-term vision, take some time each week to step back and look at the big picture. For example, spend 30 to 60 minutes every Sunday to check your progress and make sure you're moving in the right direction. Ask yourself, what am I happy with? What do I need to improve? What can I change to move faster? If I could do the week again, what would I do differently? If I keep doing what I did this week, will I reach my long-term goal? If not, what should I change? Is my current plan the best? If not, how can I make it better? What few things give me most of my results? Can I focus more on those? What things haven't worked? Can I stop doing them? If I could do only one thing this week, month, year, what would help me most with my progress? Having this kind of weekly planning time will help you stay focused on the future and not get lost in everyday problems. Action step. Make time each week to focus on the big picture. Use the list of questions above, also in your action guide. D. Learning to enjoy the process. Even though we all want great results, focusing too much on the outcome isn't helpful. Good results don't appear quickly. They come from steady work. So, to think long-term, you need to enjoy the work and respect the process. We often believe that once we reach a goal, we'll live happily ever after. But that's not how our minds work. We are usually happiest when we're chasing a goal. That's why when we finish one goal, we want to start a new one. This means most of your happiness happens during the journey, not at the finish line. So if you focus only on the result, you're missing the point. The happiness from reaching a goal doesn't last long. The journey is the real reward. Enjoying the process is the best way to stay happy while you work toward your big goals. Action step. Use your action guide to finish this sentence. For me, focusing more on the process would mean E. Letting go of the fear of missing out. Many people are scared of missing out on life. They're afraid of missing a party, a chance, or a person. For example, if they miss a party, they feel nervous. What if something amazing happens and they miss it? When they travel, they try to see everything. They plan too much and feel stressed. If they miss the chance to date someone they like, they feel upset and wonder if they'll ever meet someone like that again. This fear comes from a mindset of lack. It means you don't trust the world to give you more chances, and you don't trust yourself to create good memories. But the truth is, there are lots of fun things in life. You can always make more great memories. When you're scared of missing out, you get distracted by new things easily. That's why it's important to manage this fear. People who always chase new things usually fear missing out. They think there's a secret answer out there, and they keep looking for it. But people who think long term know this isn't the right way to live. They create a smart plan, adjust it when needed, and stick with it for the long term. They know they'll need to say no to many things to stay on track. That's what a real strategy is, saying no to things that don't help you reach your goal. If you don't say no to distractions, you don't have a real plan. Action step. Use your action guide to do the following. Write down the areas in your life where you feel fear of missing out. Pick one goal or area and list all the chances that actually exist. What are your options? What could you do about it? Take time to appreciate all the opportunities you already have. F. Reminding yourself to be patient. For most people, thinking long-term doesn't come naturally. To get better at it, you need to remind yourself to stay patient. Your brain wants things now, but you need to wait. People think I'm naturally patient, but I'm not. I'm actually very impatient. I want things to happen quickly, but I've learned how valuable patience is. I know that big goals take months or years of work, and that if I'm patient, I can achieve almost anything. That's why I keep telling myself to be patient, and you should too. Action step. Remind yourself that you have time. To help, you can create personal sayings like "life is a marathon, not a sprint," or "I have time," or "be patient." Say them often, write them down, or post them on your desk or wall. Watch Gary V's videos like "Overnight Success" or "People Have Forgotten the Art of Patience." Think about everything you've done over the past months or years and remind yourself how much more you can still do.